It's Saturday. It feels like spring. It sounds like spring. Someone at the nature center was like salting the sidewalk. We literally have no snow, no ice. We were supposed to have a huge snowstorm, 9 inches. That's how that went. Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Guys, my introvert battery is like below E, so I'm taking a no makeup, super chill day. I am about to go on a walk, but I thought I would just kind of touch base really quickly about Dewithon and how that's going. So if you don't know, Dewithon is basically a readathon where you read books that take place in Wales or are written by Welsh authors or whatever. It's called Dewithon, I think, because it starts on St. David's Day, but anyway, which is March 1st, and it runs the whole month of March. But before I get into what I've been reading for that and what my plans are for today, I basically was just doing Wordle, part of my morning routine, and I saw that Judith Human died. Like, guys, I love her so much. She was just this fierce powerhouse for, oh my gosh, sorry about the camera, disability rights, and just educating people on what it's like to have a disability, what people with disabilities need. She recently started like a podcast, and I have been watching her YouTube videos where she like does like a podcast, but it's also in video format where she's interviewing different people. Like, she is absolutely amazing. I would encourage looking up her YouTube. I would encourage watching Crip Camp, which I think is on Netflix, and then this is one of the best books I've ever read, Being Human. But yeah, I'm just absolutely devastated to find out that she died today. She wasn't that old. I don't know what happened. The cause of her death is like not posted at this point, but anyway, like, yeah, anyway, I just want to mention that because like she impacted so many people with disabilities, but also like the world in general. And also those like me who work with people with disabilities. Like, that's like the primary part of my career that I do. Anyway, back to Dewithon. Here's what I've been reading. So the first book I started with is The Last House on the Cliff. I am not too far into it, but I am really liking it. It's kind of like a thriller situation, although we haven't gotten super into the thriller yet. There's just basically this lady and her daughter go to her aunt's house because her aunt has recently passed away, and they kind of just need to figure out like stuff with her aunt. As a kid, she basically went to her aunt's house all the time. Basically, anytime she had a break from school, she would go to her aunt's house because it seemed like her parents were just kind of indifferent towards her. And like, things are just kind of weird right now. Like, it seems like a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, it seems like there's a person who just kind of seems to be like lurking and watching them in the house. And also there's like this sibling of the aunt who's just buried in a weird spot. Like, it's just like a few weird things, and we're like, okay, what's going on? And as you see from like the little tagline situation, a secluded island, a missing child, a family built on lies. However, this, I just am curious because I don't really have that many Welsh friends, and I don't really know yet if I would recommend this to any of my Welsh friends, but it feels the most Welsh out of any book I've read for Dewithon. Almost like it's trying too hard, and the author is actually not from Wales. She's from the Midlands, I think, which sounds like it's close to Wales, but it's in England, it's not Wales. And part of me feels like she's trying too hard with all the Wales stuff that's in here, but that's my perspective as an American who has never been to Wales and knows nothing. So I don't know what people who actually live there would feel like. It's just like other books I've read just kind of seem to be Welsh without announcing, hello, I'm from Wales. And I feel like this book is just really loud about that. The book I started yesterday. Yesterday I worked all day at the Nature Center. I love the Nature Center, but sometimes I have downtime and I'm not really sure what to do, so I always bring like some sort of a nature book with me. I picked up this book called Birdsplaining, A Natural History, and this is by Jasmine Donahue. I think I picked this book up knowing it would be a good fit for Dewithon. The author is from Wales, without really looking at all about what it was about, thinking that it was gonna be basically about like birding, because birding has like just skyrocketed in popularity since the pandemic. Like basically people had nothing to do and going outside was a safe choice, and they just became birders. And also I think that there was a time, at least at the beginning, where nature kind of like rebounded and like found its home again in the places that we have kicked it out of. And so there were birds to be seen, and people kind of embraced that hobby. And I thought that maybe this would be about like her embracing birding and how birdsplaining, like birding is typically like an old man activity, and that is not even true at all. Like there are so many women that are interested in birding, and so many younger people now that are interested in it. It's so cool to see at the Nature Center. So that's what I thought this was going to be about, and that's not what it's about at all. It's very, very thin. I am on page 90, and I think the only reason I'm on page 90 is just because it's so like deep and wise and like slow and philosophical and reflective and stuff like that. These are just essays about different situations in her life or different thoughts that she would like to share with other people, and they're connected to birding, they're connected to the outdoors, but they're not just about the outdoors. They're really more about life in general, and I'm just loving it. The first story in here is about how sometimes like birds, she feels connected to nature, and sometimes she feels like she gets signs from birds and stuff like that. And it's about basically her daughter, or not her daughter, sorry, rewind. Her sister dying from what appears to be breast cancer, and then like just her anxiety around getting scanned every year. And like my annual scan is coming up as well, because I am also at a high risk. I get an MRI once a year, and I also get like 6 months after that a 3D mammogram. And so I like deeply connected to like just the loss of having someone that you love die from breast cancer, and the anxiety of like, it's always in the back of your mind, but then when a scan is getting closer to coming up, just how you're like, is this the year? Like, you know, like for me, I really want to go to England and Wales this summer, and I haven't purchased a ticket or anything because I'm waiting for the results of that scan, to be honest. And then there's just talking about also in another essay, like all the essays are connected through the nature aspect, but they're completely separate in what they're talking about. But a lot of them do have a feminist kind of undercurrent, I would say. And like this one that I just turned to was kind of about this article where an author was putting down nature writing, and how the author of this book was like, okay, like the reason he's putting it down is because that's an area where like women can shine, and that's like basically like the one area that they're like allowed, I guess, to be in or whatever. And she was wondering how much of it was him actually like putting down nature writing, and how much of it was connected to the idea that women are kind of the powerhouses of that type of writing. She was talking about how people feel in nature, and how there's so many ideas about how you're supposed to feel in nature and how you actually feel in nature, and about how like why women seek wilderness. So one of the quotes that I underlined was, sometimes therefore might what some women seek in wilderness be a space in which we can return to ourselves, rather than a place in which we have to experience hostility and indifference. just about how much, sexism there is in real life, and how if you can just go into nature and solitude, you can finally like escape all of it, or it's your hope that you can escape a lot of it and just be fully you without the world having all these expectations on you. I love this so much. I don't think there's anyone in Wales I would recommend it to that I'm friends with, because I just don't think it's their jam. But I do think Heidi from My Reading Life might really like this. It's not as sciencey as I think that she normally likes, because it is more reflective and stuff, but I still think she might like it. But the other thing that made me really happy today, after I was devastated by Judy Human dying, was I realized that it's the day that I'm doing a buddy read with Andy. So her and I have become friends on Instagram. We did a buddy read together of a book that I was not the biggest fan of, The Priory of the Orange Tree. And so we're trying again because I love her. I just didn't love that book. And I am rereading The Blue Tent, and she is reading it for the first time. And today is the day when we are going to tackle that. So I don't know if she'll finish today or not. It's pretty short, and she's a pretty, I don't know if she's a fast reader or not, but she definitely, puts in the time. She's able to sit and read for a while, it seems like. But this is a book where you read it, and then you get to the end, you're just loving it the whole time. And then you get to the end and you're like, holy shit, what did I just read? Questioning everything you ever thought about this book. And so, we don't really have any check-ins or whatever. But I want to reread it, and she wants to read it for the first time. So I think I'm just going to let her. We have decided, I'm not letting her, but we've decided basically that she's going to just check in whenever she wants, and then we'll mostly talk about it at the end. But I am going to be not checking in with her, but just kind of documenting my thoughts as I'm reading the book for the second time, but I won't share them with her until after she's read the whole thing, because all of my thoughts, or what I'm hoping for, is just clues and stuff that I got along the way that I didn't have access to the first time, because of just kind of the schema that your brain is in when you tackle something, and then how you're whoa, everything I ever thought is completely wrong. So
my thoughts are too big. Can I get some comfort, please? I guess I should have been honest. It breaks in my heart. It's weighing me down, baby. I'm like a river that's overflowed. The sooner you know it, the less do we hurt. Let me speak the truth. Face it, you think it's too late, but I can see past the rain. Won't you lay it on me? Turn the page and burn it. Let's make up a big bonfire on the beach with the stars as our lighters. Throw our problems in the flame. Throw our problems in the flame. We fell down to the bottom, so bottom up please. We're gonna get over this. I see the smoke in the mirrors. I'm holding the key. One step away from salvation. You're like the ocean, setting me free. Out in the open, I'm picking up speed. No bad thoughts penetrate.